What's up, YouTube? It's NG, the Neon X, and I'm back. Today I'm into the Surface Duo and its regular everyday use. Right now I'm at the park. Let's show you here. Those are my girls there playing around. And I have the Surface Duo in one of its postures, with the screen on my leg and the camera facing towards me. Now, it's an interesting device. It's extremely versatile in what it can do. I've been using it for about a week now. I got it on Monday night. It's now Sunday evening. And I just felt the need to just express this. Have some videos I've been working on, but it's been a pretty busy weekend, so I've had to allocate my time differently. Haven't had that time to sit down and edit and such. But while they're getting their little exercise in, I just want to just tell you about this first week of the Duo and what I think of it so far. Well, I guess the best way to put it is it's not for everybody. It's definitely not a device for the common or the average consumer. It's a very niche device for a very niche market, for a very niche type of consumer. If you aren't into tech, as in the latest tech, if you aren't the business type who revels in efficiency and in multitasking to get your work done that much faster, this is not for you. If you don't need to have the latest and greatest tech, even if it's not the greatest, it's just the newest, with a peek into what is to come, it's definitely not for you. This device is only for those people. And I say only because of all of the caveats that come to owning one of these devices. I dare say it's not even for me. And I say that because I have an LG V60. The ease in which this Duo is recording this video right now is nothing new to me. It might be new to others, but those who have a V60 or any of LG's dual screen devices, it's not a new function whatsoever. You fold it over, you have the rest on your lap. This one doesn't, it does rest, but because of the glass, I gotta be a little careful with how I try to balance it, because it does slip on my knee. The V60 is much heavier with the rubber case. It's not going anywhere. But the Duo is a very niche device. It's a very unique device, and I have found many use cases for it. For example, like this is a video I am doing now. When I'm in my car, I have my Hits the Road, where I have an app here that is Spotify and Google Maps. As an e-reader, books just are amazing on it. Both Nook and Kindle make use of the dual screen, and the hinge makes it appear like you're reading an actual book, only it's digital, and it's like a very expensive mini digital e-reader. It's very nice. Again, playing games on it. Most games can't span both screens. Yeah, you have the bar in the middle, but with some games that doesn't really matter too much. Like me, I did prefer having Streets of Rage being streamed to my Game Pass and have it streamed on both screens. It was just very immersive. I had the Duo on a stand, I had my Xbox controller, and it was just a good time to be had. Battletoads as well. Now, again, because of my V60, it's not the first time I have done something like that, but it's the first time it has felt and looked so good doing that, because the Duo is a very well-made, well-balanced device. The hardware makes this thing just feel special to use. Even if you can get a very similar experience with LG's devices, it doesn't feel the same. And I think that's my biggest takeaway from using this for a week. Because I have no choice but to compare it to my LG V60 because it's always with me. It's here right now. Not in its case, but this has become my primary device, and I don't particularly leave it at home. But for everything it can do, it feels better to do it. At least not everything. For most things the V60 can do, most of them feel better to do it on the Surface Duo, just because of the form factor that it takes. The slim, light body of it really makes you feel like you are using a futuristic device. The V60 with the dual screen is a clunky beast, but a beast nonetheless. It has not way more power, but it has more power than the Duo has, more features than the Duo has, and does everything the Duo can. Like, even when it comes to having to span across both screens, the Duo can do something, not Duo, the V60 can do something very similar. There's an app that allows it to span any app across both screens. It might look weird with some, but it works great with others. But that is what I found my biggest issue is with the Duo. I love the look and feel of it, but my V60 does it all and then some. What is on my lip? Oh. Well, and anyway, I've been using the Duo all week. I've gone to stores, I've gone to family, I've gone to the park, I've taken my kids to the farm, a lot of things. It's been the first week of online school for them, so while I'm helping to focus my kids on the computer, I've had this with me trying to get some of my own personal things done, and it has proved to be a very valuable asset, but not an asset I personally couldn't do without, simply because, again, the V60. I could have took the V60 and not the Duo and done the exact same thing. And I find myself coming back to that fact. The Duo is just so wonderful to hold and feel, but it's nothing me personally I haven't been able to do beforehand. And in my trying to justify the Duo outside of the obvious futuristic experience, the device, the hardware, and such, I haven't been able to pinpoint that one experience that the Duo has been able to provide to me that makes me say, yeah, this is definitely worth the asking price. And that's the second thing with the Duo. For all its flaws, for all of the software issues that so many are having with it, me personally, I think the biggest issue is just the price. Because if this device were, let's say, $800 for a Wi-Fi only model, maybe even $900, I think it would be totally worth it. software hiccups and all. I really think that if Microsoft had made a few more SKUs to this device, 2 Wi-Fi, 2 LTE, and maybe 1 5G, maybe 5G, not really. Started at $800 to $900, end up at the 15. I think they would have hit the market in its sweet spot, because the device is extremely nice to use and hold, and it's so very versatile. But for what it is, at the price it is, you can get very similar experiences elsewhere. And that's my gripe right now. Trying to really justify the use of the Duo over my other devices in the state the Duo is in now. Now, I understand that Android 11 is coming out, and it will have native support for dual screen and such. So it's not too far off to think that the features of the Duo would be better suited for Android 11. Now, Android 11 has come to the Pixel lines and things or things like that, but there's no word yet when it will be coming to the Duo. And even when it comes to the Duo, there's no word if the software hiccups that the Duo does face with Microsoft trying to force this dual screen or the dual screen nature of the Duo onto Android 10 would be rectified. With Android 11, we can only hope. But maybe that's the whole point of being a first adopter, an early adopter. It's not the destination, it's the experience. We are the beta testers, the test subjects, the tech guinea pigs for this type of device, this type of software. So it was with the original Galaxy Note, not Note, but even the Note. But I meant to say the Galaxy Fold. So many issues to the point where they had to recall them and then reissue it. But once it came back out, it was a pretty good device. I still have mine. And I think that might be the same situation the Duo itself is in. The reviewers are coming down so hard on it because of the flaws in the software. And I can't argue, there are bugs. Some of them more persistent than others, but none so persistent that you can't actually use the device. You just have to use it differently. But those bugs are what would make the device not usable to the average consumer. They're not going to want to deal with those bugs on a device that most would see as their typical mobile phone. Though, I mean, it's so not the typical device. But because people keep comparing it to Z Fold 2s and iPhones, and they want to comparing the comparisons, and this is better than that, and all the specs, and so on. If in that mindset, the Duo just cannot keep up. If you have an open mindset and an open wallet, the Duo will really surprise you. There is a learning curve, and things will not work as they should when they should a lot of the time. But when things do work, it's a thing of beauty. When I showed this device to my brothers, both of them are in the Apple camp. They go hard for Apple this and iPhone that and what have you, because it really does just work. I won't take that away from Apple. As boring as iPhones are, they do really just work. What you need, it just works, and you've got to put much thought behind the use of the device. But when I showed them this and they began, iPhone and blah blah blah, and then I was able to put them in scenarios where a device like the Duo would be more acceptable.
or more efficient. They all had to open their eyes when they realized the different mindset the duo forced you to have. One of my brothers is a photographer, and when I told him, suppose you're in a coffee shop, you have a Zoom call to make, and you're on the Zoom call on one screen, and the person you are trying to speak with sends you a file, and you're able to open the file while on the Zoom call on your phone and look through the images or whatever the case might be, and keep that contact, keep that eye connection with the person you are speaking with while still going through the files that he sent. That's something special right there. To not break that connection, for him to see your initial reaction to what he has sent you or her, and vice versa. There's something to be said about that entire dynamic. And that's where the duo stands out. But not everyone needs that or will ever be in that type of scenario. The entrepreneur, the business focus individual is all about efficiency over extravagance. This is the type of person the duo fits the bill for. Someone sent me a post there. He's saying that he's had his S20 for however long, and he's only taken 10 personal pictures, as opposed to the dozens and dozens of business cards he has scanned and things along those lines. The duo would fit his lifestyle, his workflow perfectly. If that's the type of person the duo is for, not the everyday consumer. And with so much of the reviewers harping on it and comparing it to everyday consumer devices, the general public starts to think, you know what, the duo is just not a good phone. And there goes that word phone. The duo is not a phone at all. It happens to be able to make calls, but to think of it as a phone is doing the duo and yourself a disservice. But that's my thinking right now. It's just, it's frustrating. It's very frustrating in its own way, because I really like the device. I see the potential in the device. The second version and the third version are, if Microsoft takes all of these quibbles and goes back to the drawing board to address them, the second version of the Surface Duo is going to be a monster, as they say. I'm sure it too will have its flaws, because it'll only be the second, but the path to greatness was never easy. But I do want the Duo and other Duo-like devices to succeed. Or I don't want the mobile industry to remain dormant and just be satisfied with these glass slabs. I like when these companies take a chance with a different form factor, different software, different cameras, different build materials. Because even if they don't do well, it will start the conversation on how to make that particular thing do well, and what you can improve on it to make it that much better, so that eventually the general public will accept it into the mainstream. The Duo just isn't there, and it saddens me, but I understand it. With my use the past week, I see how the Duo could really change the way people think. I saw it in my brother's eyes and their faces when I told them about how it could work.
So as I was saying, I had to help my daughter very quickly. She's up there. As I was saying, when you explain to someone the use case for the Duo, and you see the gears in their head turning as the dual screen experience finally begins to make sense, and they see how in their own life they could use such a dual screen device, that's when you really begin to appreciate what Microsoft has here. Me, I truly enjoy it. And like I said, my only hiccup is I have an LG V60. I never had two of the same, just for the sake of having two of the same. There always had to be something that made me say, well, this device is for that. And that's what I use this device for. The Duo hasn't really marked that territory in my set of devices yet. But as it stands right now, it's a very good device, but it's another device. It's not the specific device that I try to add to what I have. And I'm not making excuses, I'm just saying my feelings on it after the first week. Now, do people need more than a week? Personally, yeah, I don't think a week is nearly enough time to really decide on a device, because over time, as you become more used to the nuances of it, certain things click. Like for me, when the devices go off in the house and I have to choose which one to do what on, I found myself going towards the Duo. It's just light and easy. I don't have to attach the other screen. I find myself using the dual screen a lot. If I'm doing something on one screen, which is normally the case, it's in its dual screen format, but I'm only using one screen, most likely on the right side. And then a notification comes in, and I pull it down, and I just open it. It opens on the other side. Then while I'm reading that, I might say, you know what? Let me look into this deeper, and I just pull it up on the previous side, and I just keep going back and forth like that, and I find it just works really well for me. Now, could I do that with the Fold? Yes, but not with every app, and not with the two larger screens. It'd be the little windows and all of that. I mean, that's what I was used to before, so it is what it is. Could I do it with the V60? Most definitely, but I found that I didn't do it as often with the V60. The V60 was really just pretty much contained to the one screen most of the time, even with the other screen on, unless there was something very specific I was trying to do. And I think that's because the V60 is a case. When you open it, it doesn't have the ease of use and the balance, and just the way it feels. It doesn't feel as good as the Duo to do that dual screen experience. The Duo feels great. Right now, I'm holding it with two screens, and because of the angle that it's at, the lightness, the balance, it's not uncomfortable. The Duo is not a Duo. The V60 is not the most comfortable phone to hold with the case on and the screen up doing this type of vlog. It's not. It's heavy. Would I recommend the Duo as it stands now to a normal, everyday consumer? No. I would not. There's too many issues going on with the Duo to make that normal, everyday consumer happy with the device. They would be frustrated, more so than not. Now, would I recommend the Duo to, like I said, a tech fiend, a tech enthusiast, to a entrepreneur, to a businessman? Definitely. I would tell them to take a look at it, buy it, use it. If you don't like it, give it back. But definitely experience it.
That it's not like any experience you've had before. Even if you have a V60 or any of those dual screen phones, it's not the same. They do the same thing. And like I said, the V60 in most cases does it better. But the feel of the Duo, the look of the Duo, the little differences in the dual screen experience with the Duo makes it a whole other type of device, even when compared to the V60. And I think that's my takeaway from using it for this week. It fits its own groove, more so than I actually thought it would. Could I use this as my main device? You know what? I won't lie. I could. Yes, I would need to get a smartwatch. I would need to get headphones, which I have headphones. But it really is just so light and thin. And for what I do, it does fit most of it. Now, would I want this as my only device? Nah, I like devices too much. But if someone were to have, and they'll say, well, you know what? All we have for use is the Duo. I would have an issue. It really is a really nice device to use. So I just wanted to share that. I know online people are just tearing this thing apart, and I get it. I understand. But at the same time, I don't feel it is such a bad device that people shouldn't experience it. Because it's not like any other device. It's not an experience you've likely had before. Even with the V60s and LG G8X and V50s and all the other dual screen things, it's not the same. It's just not the same. And I guess that's really from a hardware perspective. Actually, it's both. Even the software, when it works, it's just not the same. It's just a lot. This device really has me thinking and rethinking at ends with myself. But I like it. I like it a lot. It just doesn't fit. Not as it should. But where does that leave the Surface Duo? It does so many things well, but it doesn't do any one thing great. It's a jack of all trades, but master of none. It's it's the Surface Duo. Anyway, with that said, I'm NG, the Neon X, and the Surface Duo. This is what I'm into.